I love that junk drawer analogy you use. It is quite literally that. I think there is an onus whilst we're not in. I mean, we just kind of detailed what the safety profession heaven, I suppose. Like that's what we want it to be. That's our dream ideal state. So whilst we're not there, I think there's an onus on us as safety professionals. Like I am very clear in my, well, I wasn't in the beginning because I didn't know, but in this job I've got now is quite new. So when I'm hunting for this job, I'm very clear in the kind of person I am and what I'm looking for out of a job. Like, I think we have an obligation on us to tell the potential employee, which is easier said than done. It depends on where you are financially and so on and so forth. But, I sat in my interview and said, if you're looking for somebody to just look after a system and audit people and kind of be really systems and compliance focused, I'm not your man. And that was it, straight up. And I think
that's huge. That's huge even when you're looking for jobs, right? I've shared that with folks a lot. And again, you're right. Like I remember when I first jumped into this job, and again, I was working as a contract person, kind of traveling around, because that's what I started with in kind of general industrial work anyway. So I kind of carried that on for a little while until I kind of settled into more permanent, not traveling around roles, And at the time, when you first get into it, you're just you're just experience hungry, right? So
yeah.
you'll jump, and I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. Right. There's probably, when you're young in this profession and you only have a year or so under your belt, you might have to jump on jobs that you
Oh,
might not take now.
definitely. Yeah.
Right. But then you do get to that point to where, like you said, and that's where I landed. And I will tell you that as a safety professional, that setting that standard for myself and saying that I will not work for a company that has this.
Yeah.
And I'm not picking on those companies. I guess I kind of am, but not really. I'm just saying that, like, if I look at the job description and the first bullet point says help to control or help to enforce our zero safety incident culture, I will not apply. Will not, refuse, unless I just want like a good fight, like, what I mean? Like will not, like, refuse to apply, right? Refuse to apply. I'm like, not doing that. Or you just look at those where it's like you can just tell what type of role it is just by reading the job description. Right. And
Yeah.
I'm going, like, some of them are very cringeworthy, right? You're just reading them and it's just like this, as we mentioned, like 17 pages of responsibilities and travel 97% of the time, or as needed by the company. You're like, pass, right? So you kind of get to that point to where you could almost sense that company, as you're reading the job descriptions, the kind of trigger words that you see kind of in there, and you're going pass. But I will tell you, once I set that standard for myself and said that, just making sure that I apply to a place that at least sounds like, right, that's a place that I would want to be. And then once you go on that interview, kind of getting into more of the nuts and bolts of maybe your job seeker safety professional friends out there, once you go on that interview, realizing that you're as much there to interview them as you're there for them to interview you. Because
Definitely.
there's been several interviews that I've walked into several years back before I found myself in my current day job role, of getting halfway through an interview and be like, look, I'm sorry, but I'm no longer interested, and just leaving because of the type of
I'd love
questions,
to have the balls to do that.
But the reason why I say all that is because going through all the stuff that I know I personally went through in the safety profession, kind of my personal sucks and kind of feeling my way through where I wanted to be, going through some of those shithead employers that we kind of talked about, setting those standards for myself. It found me at an employer that was exactly what I was looking for, right? It just took some time, right, to kind of find my way there, and then go, okay, so you guys want me to, like, you guys actually want to hear my opinion? Like, this is cool. Even if you don't agree with it, you want to hear it? What? You
Yeah.
serious?
Sometimes I think we have to, maybe this is just in England, but I think I mean, Sam, how long have you been in safety now?
Just a little bit longer than you, like 10, 12 years.
So we've both been in the profession for 10-ish years, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're still having conversations now on what our profession should look like.
Absolutely.
So how can we expect all employers and all job adverts to completely describe the job in the way in which we want it to be? Because even we can't do that. So I do think that whilst I agree with with you, there are some red flags in a job advert in which I'll be like, nah, I'm all right, thank you. Sometimes we have to take some of them with a pinch of salt
Right.
and go in. So and go in and, you know, sometimes you even have to pitch the job to your prospective employer. Like, damn, if you want the job and you think I really want the job, but how they've described it, it's not how I would do it. Like, I don't want to be in an office 9 times. I want to be on the road or on the floor or whatever.
Right.
You know,
Right.
get an interview and go in there and say, hi, well, do the interview, get to the interview. Have you got any questions? Yeah. I'm wondering if you would completely redesign the role to look like this, because this is what I think it should be.
Mhm.